I liked what Jason said about closing down with the app vendors. So I got to meet some more of those folks. But I'll say this about the SoC guys: they may not close down the bar, but they pick up the tab, right? So
depends on which operator you are.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. Okay, so thank you for joining. I'm going to start off with kind of an icebreaker type question, and this is for each of you. Why did you join Purple, and tell us a little bit about your journey so far?
Yeah, so basically it's a long journey for MaxLinear, almost from the beginning of the foundation. We kind of back then looked at the ecosystem, mostly at our, the service provider, our customers, and what we saw is that basically you guys are trying to innovate, bring value services, but mostly what you are doing back then was busy of integrating the same solution and again with either new hardware vendors or with new chip vendors, and less focusing on the value side. And also on our side, when we, as a chip vendor, we were thinking back then and also now that we have great solution to offer to you guys, and we want to focus on them. But what we were doing back then was integrating again and again with another OEM and another operator, doing the same instead of bringing the goodness that we can deliver to you. So we went through this journey, and actually the main target was to really try to create a framework that enables us to focus on what we are good at and enable others to focus on what they are good at. This was a long journey, and definitely on the last 4 or 5 years, after the 3 big operators joined that very actively, we see already this is coming to reality, and this is really great.
Very good. Craig?
Okay, thank you for having me. I think Qualcomm on the Purple side has been involved for a really long time as well. I think we saw value early on around the open source and basically making the market as broad as we could. So I think we've been a strong supporter of what we're doing on the Purple side for a long time now. I think we've obviously got a board member here as well. We participate in the working teams. We contribute, so not only are we members, but I would say we're active contribution members as well. So we see a lot of value of it. We continue to see value in it. We've done Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7, fast track. We'll continue to do additional stuff on that front, Wi-Fi 8, AI when it becomes available. So I think from our perspective, you'll see a lot of involvement and a lot of participation with the operators and with the broader community here.
Awesome. James?
Yeah, I think for us is, first of all, thank you for inviting us. So for MediaTek, I think it's very simple. I think Purple represents an idea that we cherish, which is equal level playing field. Because beforehand, and, much less, but beforehand, there were a lot of operators who were doing their own proprietary stacks. And that was sticky. And it was very good, rewarding the incumbents. But now, with Purple and the other open source framework, RDK, I think that notion is out there, and we like that, right? Because we'll compete. We'll compete just like all of us here will compete, because chip is a tough business, right, gentlemen? So all we want is a fair, level playing field. I guess in France they call that égalité. Égalité, did I say that right? I don't know, I'm not French, obviously. But, so yeah, so that's that. And our participation really has increased and skyrocketed just within this year. I remember 2 years ago when we were here, I'll admit, right, we're somewhat of a newbie, not like Craig here, old man on the block. But this year we were first to Linux kernel 6.6. And obviously that was Purple 4.1 that was released last night, so thank you for everybody's involvement. I saw your email, that was very good. And also we're the first to support 3 reference designs. You guys saw the logo during the break and out there in the demo. So yeah, we, in a nutshell, égalité, égalité, égalité.
All right, very good. Stefano?
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for inviting me.
Sure, of course.
So from Broadcom side, we've been working on Purple for quite some time. We had a pause, and we joined back in the beginning of last year. And the motivation was and still is the same, be part of the Purple ecosystem and serve the market and the growing market it represents. So I think that's the main motivation. It's not the only middleware open source out there, so we have to continue supporting all the solutions that drive a significant portion of the market. So we join regularly a couple of forums with our experts in wireless LAN and PON software, and what we provide to our customers and partners for demonstrator, proof of concept, or product that hopefully will make it to the market soon, is an extension of our what we call generic software, if you want, so which is aligned to the latest and greatest Purple version, and we expect to continue doing it.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, second question, and this is for MaxLinear and MediaTek. So what benefits are you seeing from the reference platform, the Purple reference platform?
Yeah, so it's basically a key factor in what I mentioned before. We basically in MaxLinear decided that Purple is strategic not only outbound but also inbound. We all of our development for both the software development, the firmware development, the QA on our internal platform, all based on Purple. We call it UPDK, Unified Purple Development Kit. We provide it to our customers directly through Purple. So anything new that we bring, either in the current generation of our XGS PON and Wi-Fi 7, in the coming months, also in the next generations of the new technologies, Wi-Fi 8, 25 gig, and so on and so forth. All of that is being developed on top of Purple, and when we deliver it to the Purple community, the fact that we are, part of the reference platform, not only we are part of the fast track, as both with this generation of Wi-Fi 7, even before with the Wi-Fi 6, allows a very quick turnaround from the time that we develop the feature to the time that the operators and the system integrators, the application developers, all the ecosystem that we see here in this room today can actually take it and implement it in a very quick turnaround. We actually exercise this now. As many of you know, we are engaging with a first-tier operator here in the room, together with many of the ecosystem here, and we deliver our version there, and I think that the time to market is very critical benefit coming out of that. We, in a very quick turnaround from the time that we develop that to the time that the operator can really test in the lab, and being the fast track is definitely very helpful on that.
Very good. James?
Yeah, we love reference designs. So I think I said just earlier we have 3, and those are PON, like XGS PON. I think one is a Ethernet gateway with tri-band 4x4 Wi-Fi 7, first out to block. I think then we have another 2 that was advertised earlier. They were both XGS PONs with tri-band or dual band 4x4 Wi-Fi 7, and we will keep doing those reference designs because as Alex and others, and we're going to talk about Wi-Fi 8. We also see beyond XGS PON, 25GS PON, 50G PON, and not to mention a lot of increasing market share for us in the world as a whole for 5G fixed wireless access, right? So a lot of stuff to do for us. But I want to say, I think there's a higher issue here, which is, we're doing all these things with our OEM and ODM partners on the notion that this is open source, that the little guy and the big guy will benefit equally. Égalité, right? And we will keep doing these reference designs as long as operators also have that same mentality going forward. And I think that's a very important concept that we should not forget.
Very good, very good. Okay, next question is for Qualcomm and Broadcom. So what improvements would you like to see in Purpleware going forward?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Improvements. So I think our whole goal for Purple is we want to make the market as broad as we can and as big as we can. And so it's great to see some of the big operators kind of getting on board with Purple here, and it seems to have a lot of momentum. And I think from our perspective, what would allow us to broaden that out and accelerate this a little faster is if we worked all together from the board all the way through the Purple Foundation to line up on kernel versions, roadmaps around that, new features especially, and if there was a way, and I suspect you guys on the Purple board and the foundation are already working on the roadmap stuff, but there's going to be a lot of new features coming up, right? There's going to be Wi-Fi 8, there's going to be AI, there's going to be a ton of stuff coming down the pipeline, and so I think what would be helpful and useful is to align on kernel versions, OpenWRT versions, and then a roadmap wrapped around those new features. So with our development team and everybody's development teams and your teams, we're all kind of marching down the same path.
Okay, very good. Stefano?
Yeah, I would like to echo the same and something that has been said earlier. So alignment is essential for us because the challenge is we have every 6 months generic software release that is the foundation for every project that we do worldwide. And this needs to be aligned with the target, at least one, the latest Purpleware version. So timing of that release, the definition of that release is very important. So this is one. The other one that has been touched upon right now by Craig is the kernel. So we cannot afford for that software development kit to support 2 kernels. We cannot have duplicate our testing and development to some extent. So it's very important. And I guess it's the same for the Purple Foundation. So we need to align, and even more align across the industry, because those same release that we do will support RDK projects. So that would be sensible to align timing and kernel versions. Okay, RDK at the moment is on a 4 release per year, but we don't certify, or let's say we don't test every single release on a given SDK that we provide. So I think there is room to improve. And the last one I think has been mentioned is the certification program at SoC level. It's something that I think something can be done there. I think it has been presented earlier, work in progress.
I think I know
Looking
the guy
forward to
who had
it.
some comments on that.
Sorry?
So I think I knew the guy who had some comments on that. Okay, last question, and this is for each of you, and I'm going to start at the end with Stefano, and then come this way towards me. There's already talk about Wi-Fi 8, obviously, and some people like it, and some people groan about it, but it's a reality. So just an overview from your perspective, and you don't need to get into the roadmap, but just what benefits do you see mainly to the customer on Wi-Fi 8?
Okay. So first of all, please allow me to mention that we will do an announcement tomorrow for the availability of our first prototypes, and there will be demos at Network X. So needless to say, Wi-Fi 8 is a better Wi-Fi than the previous versions, better throughput, capacity, range, reliability. But beyond that, it provides, let's say, a home network infrastructure for emerging, at least we believe, and future AI use cases. So today we are familiar with using a chatbot, and everything happens in the cloud. But what we're working on together with some operator is a distributed AI, all the way potentially to the gateway. So Wi-Fi 8 has the capability to meet the requirements of those use cases, we believe. So ultra low latency, symmetric bandwidth, and so on. So that's our vision.
Awesome. You slipped in AI in there too. That's very good.
And some more chips.
James?
Yeah, I actually have a different view. I think the industry is in a very interesting predicament. Wi-Fi 8, if you guys don't know, the peak speed is exactly the same as Wi-Fi 7. And I'm going to date myself, but this hasn't happened since 2003. You guys heard of 802.11a? Yeah, I know, you heard. I bet half the group people don't, because it was exactly the same speed as 802.11g.
Right.
And for the industry, not just Wi-Fi, but cellular and fiber communication, we've always prided ourselves, increasing peak flight rate every generation. But what do you do when you take that away? So that becomes your question. How do we connect the end subscriber to all the goodness, the litany of features that Wi-Fi 8 has? And so at MediaTek, we have inserted a middle layer. It's mostly communication, but it boils down to three things. I think the number 3 was very popular in the previous panel. The first thing is Wi-Fi 8 is very AI friendly. What does that mean? That means it has specific uplink features to improve the uplink, because a lot of the inference is still done in the cloud. So we need to send a lot of data to the cloud. So that's the uplink direction. So there's a lot of features like ELR and distributed resource units that aid in that. I think the second thing is that Wi-Fi 8, again, very high level because I don't have time, is becoming more and more cellular-like quality. So it has a feature, for example, like seamless roaming, where if you're a client and you're a home or the enterprise, you don't need to associate. So that cuts down on latency, some say by 25%. So that's borrowing a concept from LTE and 5G called single domain mobility, right? Single mobility domain, right? So things like that. And the last thing is the quality definitely is better. There's things in there where you get more speed, not the peak speed, that hasn't changed. You get more speed at any given distance. There are a lot of things in there like more MCS levels, and I won't go through that. But so I think the industry, we all need to take a step back, because flight rate, same, and kind of communicate. How do we communicate this? And it's very important because my parents, 82 years old, they don't understand. They won't understand, right? Most subscribers won't understand. So I think it becomes an industry effort, and in MediaTek, we'll be doing that more and more with white papers and educational videos and so on. But it's an issue across the board, right?
Very good. Craig?
Okay, so I liked your answer. It was good. I actually agree with James and Stefano, both on this one. I think, and they mentioned reliability and latency, and the speeds and feeds are not increasing, right? So I think what we need to do as a silicon provider, along with the operators and the OEMs and our customers and your customers, is we have to be able to truly sell what the benefits of Wi-Fi 8 are, right? Because it can no longer be a bigger number necessarily on a box, but there are going to be certain advantages that are going to come out of AI, and it's how do you prove it? How do you show it? Latency is an obvious one. We think that Wi-Fi 8 is also it's going to be very useful to push the AI narrative around Wi-Fi 8, because between network AI at the edge and being able to infer stuff at the gateway and actually train the models up in the cloud, we believe that there's a lot of opportunity there to actually kind of position both AI and Wi-Fi 8 as a new end user experience. But at the end of the day, we as a community have to work together on really being able to differentiate Wi-Fi 8 from Wi-Fi 7. It used to be easy. It was just speeds. And now it's going to be a little more in depth than that. So that's our goal, is obviously we have to differentiate for you guys. You have to be able to differentiate to your end users, and we have to be able to sell it at the end of the day.
Right. Alex?
Yeah, agreeing here with my colleagues, working on Wi-Fi more than 20 years, it's definitely challenging to get to this Wi-Fi 8 in respect that it always was about throughput, high throughput, very high throughput, extremely high throughput, and so on and so forth. And now looking at it from the different angle, and I'm not driving into the features, and definitely there are very nice features in Wi-Fi 8 or 11BN. But I think that Wi-Fi 8 is actually, because of this challenging scenarios, the main target for Wi-Fi 8 is to make this technology more mature, right? Because we all remember Wi-Fi 6 coming with OFDMA, and no one really used that. Wi-Fi 7 came with MLO, and it's just starting to ramp up now. It will take, and Wi-Fi 8, I think, is the main thing is to make it more efficient, more robust, and more less kind of selling it to the end user, which is definitely a thing that we all want to sell here in order to sell more chips. Actually looking at you at the operators and see how Wi-Fi 8 can help you to make your network more robust, more resilient to errors, more maturely using all the other features that already introduced in the past. And that's what we are trying to focus on our product. When we developed our product, we kind of look at it, hey, how to take the goodness from Wi-Fi 7, add the Wi-Fi 8 features, which will make it slightly better, but actually make your life of migrating from Wi-Fi 6, 6E, 7, and 8 in 5 years to much more easier and beneficial for you guys.
Very good. Well, hey, really appreciate the lively discussion. I thought this was really good and informative. Thank you.